Am I the a-hole for demanding my daughter return the $3,500 laptop I bought her after she gave it away?
Let's talk about sacrifice and what happens when it's thrown back in your face. I'm David, 46, a senior graphic designer at a mid-sized firm. My world revolves around two things, my work and my 17-year-old daughter, Chloe. Her mother, my ex-wife Sarah, lives across the country, so it's mostly been me and Chloe against the world since she was 10. I'm not rich. Design is stable, but it's not buy luxury items on a whim stable. It's budget for groceries, save for retirement, and put every spare penny into Chloe's future stable. For the past 2 years, that future had a name, Stanford. Well, not just Stanford, but the dream of it. Chloe is brilliant, valedictorian track, robotics club president, the whole package. She'd been talking about needing a powerhouse laptop for her intended computer science major, something that could handle heavy coding, simulations, and graphics. She'd send me links, not to sensible, reliable machines, to the sleek, top-of-the-line gaming and engineering laptops, the ones with specs that made my own work computer look like a potato. The price tag started at $2,500 and went up into the stratosphere. We'd had the talk, the "we need to be realistic" talk, the "this is a tool, not a trophy" talk. But every time she'd look at me with those big, hopeful eyes, the same ones she used to have when begging for a puppy, a part of me would crack. She worked so hard. She'd gotten the scholarship that covered a huge chunk of tuition. This was her dream, my dream for her. So I started a secret fund, the Chloe's Miracle Machine Fund. I cut out my weekly lunch with the guys, I delayed replacing my aging car, I took on a few freelance logo projects on weekends, telling Chloe I was just brushing up my skills. For 18 months I saved. It wasn't glamorous, it was eating leftovers and saying maybe next month to things I wanted. The final total, after tax, was $3,512. The day I ordered it, the specific 16-inch maxed-out spec model she'd sighed over felt like a victory. I pictured her face when she opened the box. I imagined her at Stanford using this machine to build something incredible. The purchase was an act of love, a physical manifestation of every "I'm proud of you" I'd ever said. I presented it to her 2 weeks before high school graduation. The scene is etched in my memory. The carefully wrapped box, her confused smile, the gasp as she tore off the paper and saw the logo. She screamed, launched herself at me, cried, said, "Dad, you shouldn't have done this," a dozen times, followed by, "This is insane, thank you, thank you, thank you." She spent the evening setting it up, marveling at the speed, the screen, showing me its features with childlike glee. My heart was full. The sacrifice felt worth it. That feeling lasted exactly 9 days. The incident happened on a Tuesday evening. I'd come home late from work after a client meeting. Chloe's car was gone. She'd texted earlier, at Kyle's, studying for finals. Kyle was her boyfriend of 8 months. A nice enough kid, quiet, into sports. I didn't know much about him, but he made her smile, so I was tentatively approving. I went to her room to drop off a package that had come for her. That's when I saw it, or more accurately, didn't see it. Her pristine, year-old, perfectly functional mid-range laptop was open on her desk, buzzing away. The colossal, spaceship-like box for the $3,500 laptop was in the corner, empty. The laptop itself was nowhere to be seen. A cold trickle of unease started in my stomach. I called her, no answer. I texted, "Hey, where's the new laptop? Need to show you a security feature." Her reply took 10 minutes. "Oh, it's with me, at Kyle's. His laptop totally died right before finals. Can you believe it? He was freaking out. I said he could use mine for a few days. Isn't that awesome? I'm such a lifesaver, LOL." The unease turned to a solid block of ice. Use mine, not his, mine. The laptop I bought for her. She'd given it to him, loaned it, handed it over like it was a spare pencil. I stared at the message, the $3,512 sacrifice flashing behind my eyes, the skipped lunches, the late nights, the old car I was still driving, all of it packed into a sleek metal case and casually handed to a teenage boy because his totally died. My fingers trembled as I typed back. Chloe, that is not a lend-to-a-friend laptop. That is a major investment for your education. You need to go get it, now. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. The block of ice in my gut grew heavier. The initial dilemma wasn't about the laptop anymore. It was about value, respect, and the terrifying realization that my daughter might not understand the difference between a generous gift and a monumental sacrifice, and I had no idea how to get her to see it without starting a war.
Chloe didn't come home that night. She sent a flurry of texts, the tone shifting from defensive to outright hostile. OMG, Dad, relax. It's just a laptop. He needs it more right now. Mine works fine. It's not just a laptop. I saved for 1.5 years for that. It's for your Stanford work, not Kyle's finals. You're being so selfish. It was a gift. That means it's mine to do with as I please. If I want to help my boyfriend, that's my choice. You're just controlling. Bring it home. We need to talk about this in person. I'm staying at Kyle's tonight. I don't want to deal with you when you're like this. The word selfish felt like a physical blow. I was selfish? For wanting the incredibly expensive, carefully chosen tool I'd bought for her future to actually be used for her future? The logic was so inverted it made my head spin. I didn't sleep. I paced. I seethed. The next morning I went to work in a fog. I couldn't focus. At noon I did something I'd never done before. I opened Reddit on my phone. I'd browsed memes before, but never posted. The feeling of helplessness, of being painted as the villain for what felt like a completely reasonable boundary, drove me to it. I found r/am I the asshole. My post went live at 12:37 p.m. Title: Am I the asshole for demanding my daughter return the $3,500 laptop I bought her after she gave it to her boyfriend? Post: I, 46 male, saved for over 1 year to buy my daughter, 17 female, a top-of-the-line laptop for her computer science major at Stanford. It was a huge sacrifice. I presented it to her as a graduation gift last week. She was overjoyed. Last night, I found out she took it to her boyfriend's house because his laptop died, and she's letting him use it for his finals. I told her she needs to get it back immediately, that it's not a toy to loan out, it's a serious tool for her education. She called me selfish and controlling, said a gift is hers to do with as she pleases, and is now staying at his house to avoid me. I'm furious and heartbroken. So Reddit, am I the asshole? I didn't expect much. I just needed to vent, to see if I was living in some alternate universe. I put my phone down and tried to work. When I checked 2 hours later, my phone nearly exploded with notifications. Upvotes, 4.2K. Comments, 873. The post was gaining traction fast. The first few comments set the tone. Top comment, by Fiscal Responsibility, 8.1K upvotes. NTA. A $3,500 laptop isn't a gift in the traditional sense. It's a capital investment in her future. It's like giving someone a car for their new job and they immediately let their friend use it for a cross-country road trip. The sheer audacity and lack of appreciation is staggering. She doesn't understand the value of money because you've clearly shielded her from the sacrifice it represented. This is a teaching moment, and it's going to suck, but you cannot back down. Another comment from Been There, Bought the T-shirt, 5.7K upvotes. NTA. As a former ungrateful teen who did something similar, though with a $500 camera, let me translate. It was a gift, it's mine, really means I see this as an entitlement, not an expression of love and sacrifice. Your effort is invisible to me. You need to make it visible. Demand the laptop back. If she refuses, take the one on her desk. She wants to use hers, she can use the old one. The new one gets returned to the store. Harsh, but necessary. Another comment from Kyle probably sucks. 4.9K upvotes. Info. Is Kyle's laptop actually dead? Or did he see a shiny new toy and manipulate your daughter into getting access to it from your daughter? This reeks of a boyfriend taking advantage. NTA, but you have a Kyle problem as much as a daughter problem. The support was overwhelming, but it was also littered with glimpses of a different perspective. Gifts are unconditional. 2.1K upvotes. Soft YTA. You did give it as a gift. Once given, you relinquish control. It's hers. Her valuing her boyfriend's emergency, finals are an emergency, over a piece of property shows she has her priorities straight, people over things. You're teaching her that your conditional generosity is more important than her relationship. This comment was ripped apart in the replies, but it echoed Chloe's argument perfectly. It made my blood boil. Then the first awards popped up. A gold from someone named Disappointed Dad, a Table Slam award, a Dump Him award on the comment about Kyle. The post was climbing the subreddit's hot page. Meanwhile, in the real world, the silence from Chloe was deafening. She wasn't answering calls, her location was off. I was debating driving to Kyle's house, a move Reddit was vehemently split on. Don't cause a scene, you'll look unhinged, versus go get your property now. The conflict was no longer just in my house, it was spreading across the internet, with thousands of people dissecting my parenting, my daughter's character, and Kyle's intentions. And I was stuck in the middle, armed with internet validation, but utterly powerless to actually get my $3,500 symbol of love and sacrifice back under my roof.
The dam broke on Thursday afternoon. My Reddit post had gone fully viral, hitting the front page of r.all. Upvotes 48K, comments over 12,000. It had been cross-posted to r entitled parents, r relationship_advice, and r-parenting, where it sparked furious debate. I was a minor internet sensation for all the worst reasons. News aggregator sites had picked up the story with headlines like "Dad's 3.5K laptop gift backfires spectacularly" and "Reddit debates, are expensive gifts conditional?" But the digital firestorm was about to collide with reality. I got a call from an unknown number. It was Brenda, Kyle's mother. Her voice was tight, a mixture of embarrassment and defensive anger. "David? Hi, this is Brenda, Kyle's mom. I think we need to talk. Kyle showed me a post online. Is this true?" My heart sank to my shoes. "Brenda, if it's about the laptop, yes, it's all true." She let out a long sigh. "David, I'm mortified. Kyle told me Chloe had an old laptop she wasn't using and offered it to him because his was having problems. He never said it was brand new or that expensive. I would never have allowed it. He's bringing it back to your house right now." A wave of relief, short-lived, washed over me. "Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that. But," she continued, her tone hardening, "I have to say, airing your family drama online for thousands of people to mock your daughter, that's low, David, really low. Chloe is over here sobbing. She's seen the comments. People are calling her a spoiled brat, a gold digger, and worse things about my son. She's humiliated. Is that what you wanted?" Before I could formulate a response, my call waiting beeped. It was Chloe, finally calling from her number. "Brenda, I have to go. It's Chloe." I switched over. Instead of sobbing, I was met with white-hot, tear-choked rage. "You couldn't! You posted about me on Reddit? You let strangers call me a bitch and a whore and an idiot? My friends are sending me screenshots, Dad. Chloe, listen. No, you listen. You ruined everything. You care more about that stupid computer than you do about me. You wanted to control me, and when you couldn't, you tried to get the whole world to hate me. Well, congratulations. Kyle's mom is making him bring your precious laptop back, but I'm not coming home, ever. You're a monster. The line went dead. I stood there, shell-shocked. Brenda's judgment and Chloe's fury swirled with the tens of thousands of upvotes on my post. I'd won the battle. The laptop was returning, but at what felt like the cost of my relationship with my daughter. I numbly refreshed my Reddit post. The comments, now flooded with people who'd come from r.all, were even savager. You, lawyer, not your lawyer. 12K upvotes. OP, NTA, but you need to act. That laptop is your property until it is in the hands of the intended user for the intended purpose. Her giving it away constitutes a breach of the implicit gift agreement. You could theoretically report it as stolen if she refuses to return it. That's nuclear, but it's an option. Her reaction proves she feels zero remorse, only entitlement. You _broken heart, 9.5K upvotes. As the father of a daughter who cut me off for 3 years over something similar, let me tell you, the laptop doesn't matter. The principle does. If you cave now, you teach her that emotional blackmail, I'll never come home, wins. You have to stand firm. The pain now is less than the pain of raising an entitled adult. She will come back, but only if she respects you, and right now she doesn't. A comment from a new user, You seen it at Stanford, caught my eye. It had a different flavor. You seen it at Stanford, 7.3K upvotes. Professor here, not at Stanford, but a similar tier engineering school. NTA, but I'm concerned for your daughter. This level of poor judgment and susceptibility to pressure, from Kyle perhaps, is a red flag. The workload here will eat alive students who can't prioritize or manage resources. This laptop incident is a symptom. She's not ready. You might be doing her a greater kindness by withdrawing the gift and suggesting a gap year to mature than by sending her in with a $3,500 machine she doesn't appreciate. Tough love is still love. This comment hit me harder than the angry ones. It reframed everything. This wasn't just about a laptop or a fight. It was about her readiness for the world she was about to enter. The climax wasn't a shouting match. It was the simultaneous arrival of 3 things: the physical return of the laptop by a sullen, silent Kyle who wouldn't meet my eye, the devastating, final-sounding condemnation from my daughter, and the cold, analytical verdict from the internet, which had now moved beyond who's the asshole to your daughter might be failing before she even starts. I held the sleek, cool metal of the laptop. It felt like ashes. I had it back, and I never felt like more of a failure.
The silence in the house was absolute and oppressive. Chloe's absence was a physical presence, a void where laughter and slammed doors and the clack of her keyboard used to be. The returned laptop sat in its box on the kitchen table, a $3,500 monument to broken trust. I updated my Reddit post. The character limit meant I had to be concise, but the emotion bled through. Update, posted Thursday, 8:14 p.m. Update, Kyle returned the laptop. His mother was horrified and made him bring it back. My daughter, however, is not coming home. She says I humiliated her online and she never wants to see me again. She's staying with Kyle's family for now. I have the object back, but I feel like I've lost my daughter. I don't know what to do next. Thank you for all the comments, even the harsh ones. The response to the update was another tidal wave. Support hardened into concrete advice. Top comment on update, you/Gray Rock Expert, 15K upvotes. OP, this is the extinction burst. She's throwing the biggest weapon she has, her presence, at you to make you capitulate. Do not cave. Do not apologize for setting a boundary. Do not beg her to come home.
Send her one calm text. The laptop is here. You are always welcome home, but the laptop and any future financial support for Stanford is contingent on a serious conversation about responsibility, gratitude, and trust. I love you. Then you go silent. You become a gray rock. She needs to understand her actions have consequences beyond just giving back a toy. Others weren't so measured. U/Tough Love Advocate, 8.7K upvotes. Sell the laptop today. Take the money and put it in a savings account. Tell her you sold it because it was clear she didn't value it or the sacrifice behind it. Tell her she can use her old laptop for her first semester. If she demonstrates maturity and gets a 3.5 GPA, you'll consider reimbursing her for a new one. This is the only language entitled kids understand. I also got a private message, a Reddit Care Resources alert, suggesting someone was worried about my mental health. The irony was thick. In the real world, consequences began to ripple out. Brenda called again, this time more conciliatory. She'd grounded Kyle, taken his car keys, and confirmed his old laptop's issue was a $100 fix he'd been too lazy to deal with. She apologized again, but the subtext was clear. Please take your daughter back. This is disrupting our home. My ex-wife, Sarah, called from California, her voice sharp with accusation. Chloe had called her, spinning a tale of me being an unreasonable tyrant who'd publicly shamed her over a kind gesture. Sarah, who'd never been great with finances or boundaries, initially took Chloe's side. It took a 20-minute conversation, me reading the top Reddit comments verbatim, and finally saying, Sarah, I saved for 18 months. I ate peanut butter sandwiches for lunch. For this. The silence on her end was different then. She finally muttered, Oh, David, she didn't tell me that part. A fragile, temporary alliance was formed. The biggest consequence was internal. The anger had burned away, leaving a profound sadness and doubt. Had I failed as a parent? Had my sacrifice created a sense of entitlement, or had I simply raised a normal, selfish teenager? The Reddit comments were a cacophony of conflicting diagnoses. I didn't sell the laptop. I didn't send a dramatic text. I followed the gray rock advice, but with a father's twist. I sent one text. I love you. I'm here when you're ready to talk. Then I waited. For 3 days, nothing. Then, on Sunday night, as I was staring at the laptop box, my phone buzzed. Chloe. Can I come over? Not to stay, just to talk. The war was over. The much harder work of negotiating a peace was about to begin. Chloe looked smaller when she walked in, shoulders hunched, eyes wary and red-rimmed. The defiant rage was gone, replaced by a shell-shocked exhaustion. She didn't look at the box on the table. We sat in the living room, a canyon of silence between us. I read it all, she finally said, her voice quiet. Every comment. For 2 days. It was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I stayed silent, letting her talk. They said such awful things, but some of it started to make sense. The one from the professor, the one from the dad who got cut off. She took a shaky breath. Kyle's mom sat me down. She showed me their budget spreadsheet. She showed me what Kyle's part-time job pays. She asked me to guess how many months he'd have to work to buy that laptop. I had no idea. I said, maybe 6? She laughed. It was a sad laugh. She said, try over a year, honey, after taxes, if he saved every penny. She made me do the math. A tear rolled down her cheek. I never did the math, Dad. You just gave it to me. You made it look easy. I didn't know about the freelancing. I didn't know you stopped going to lunch. I just saw a laptop. You saw a 1.5 years of your life.
The dam inside me broke. I wanted you to have the best. I wanted to say, I believe in you in the biggest way I could. I know, she whispered, and I treated it like it was nothing. I gave it to Kyle because he was stressed and asked, and it was easier to say yes to him than to think about what it meant to you. That's what the commenter meant about priorities. My priority was avoiding a little awkwardness with my boyfriend, not respecting the huge thing you did for me. It was the full, ungarnished truth. It hurt to hear, but it was honest. We talked for hours about value, about sacrifice being invisible when parents do their job too well, about the difference between generosity and being a doormat. I told her about the Reddit advice to sell it, to make her use the old one. Part of me thinks I should, I admitted. She nodded slowly. Maybe you should hold on to it, not give it to me yet. I think I need to earn it back, not just say sorry. That was her idea, not mine. It was the first sign of true understanding. Here's where we landed, the resolution forged from fire. The laptop. It went into my locked home office closet. It would be released for Stanford orientation under a new, jointly created usage agreement she drafted. No unauthorized loans, primary use for academics, responsibility for repairs. The summer. Chloe came home. She got a job as a barista. Her first paycheck, she insisted on taking me to my favorite, now neglected lunch spot. The first of many, she said. Kyle. They broke up. Not because of the laptop directly, but because, in her words, when I really looked, I saw someone who was okay taking something that wasn't his without asking the cost. I don't want to be that person anymore. Stanford. She went. The laptop, when she finally got it, was treated with reverence. She sent me pictures of her first coding project on it. The caption, "Powered by Dad's Sandwiches." I made one final update on Reddit months later, telling them about the peace treaty. The top reply was simple. You/fiscal responsibility, the original top commenter. This is the best possible outcome. You held the line. She learned the lesson. The laptop became a tool for education in more ways than one. Well done, OP. The final reflection isn't about who was the asshole. The crowdsourced verdict was clear, NTA. But the real lesson was more nuanced. Gifts of immense value do carry invisible expectations, not of control, but of respect. Sacrifice, when hidden, can breed entitlement, and sometimes it takes the brutal, anonymous honesty of 10,000 strangers to hold up a mirror so everyone can finally see the same picture. The laptop is just a machine. What it ultimately purchased was far more valuable. My daughter's glimpse into the weight of my love and my painful understanding that preparing her for the world sometimes means letting her feel the consequences of devaluing it. Reddit was the catalyst, but the hard work of repair was ours alone. And for that, I'm strangely grateful to the hive mind and to my daughter for being brave enough to come back and read the comments.
Which side of that story were you on? Let me know in the comments. And if you love diving into these Reddit rabbit holes with me, subscribe to Reddit Be Mine. We're building the best storytelling community on YouTube, and we'd love to have you. Click that sub button and stay tuned.